Okay, so let's look at number one. All of these problems are definite integrals, so we are going to be evaluating them in some way. This first definite integral is just a polynomial. There's nothing crazy going on, so we are just integrating and then f of b minus f of a. Okay, so we have, we don't need u substitution, we don't need anything crazy. So we're going to look at 3. So 3 does not have any x's. So when we integrate it, well, this is basically x to the 0. So it becomes x to the first minus 4. And then x will become squared over 2 plus 2x. It'll be to the fourth over 4. And then dx we have integrated, so it's gone, and our limits are 0 to 3. And then we can simplify this. We have 3x minus 2x squared plus 1/2 x to the fourth. All of this, we're looking from 0 to 3. Make sure that you have both of these. Okay, you don't need to evaluate everything all the way through. We are going to treat this quiz like an FRQ. So as soon as you plug numbers in, you're done. But you need to make sure to have proper notation all throughout, because that is where you're going to lose your points. Okay, so what we're looking for is that you know the fundamental theorem of calculus, which is f of b minus f of a. So here's A, here's B, all right? So f of B, plug in B, 3 times 3 minus 2 times 3 squared plus 1/2 times 3 to the fourth minus, plugging in 0, 3 times 0 minus 2 times 0 squared plus 1/2 times 0 to the fourth. Done. Make sure you have big brackets around this second part, because you are subtracting a whole group of things. So that subtraction would apply to everything. From there, though, this would give you full credit on this quiz that you are going to take. You do not need to plug everything in and simplify. If you were going to, and you really had the need, deep desire to just solve this all the way out, then I will let you know that if you leave it in fraction form, you will get a 63 over 2. Because this whole second part will simplify to 0, and then you just have to deal with the first 3. But I want to see your notation. I want to see you guys write this correctly. So that is what I'm worried about right now on this quiz. Okay? So let's look at part B of number 1. So each problem is similar to each other. Okay? So part A and B, you're practicing the same skills. This one does not require u substitution. It does not require anything crazy. You are integrating, so we don't need any u's or anything. We are just going to take 3x squared. It will become cubed over 3 minus 2x squared over 2. Leave the coefficients, and our limits are -1 to 2. Now this can be simplified. If you did this step in your head, that is fine. I do not need to see both steps. You could have gone straight to x cubed minus x squared from -1 to 2. But if you do write 2 steps, make sure that you have both of those limits there, because if you do not write them once, you will lose credit. You're writing an equal sign. This equals this. So the limits can't just all of a sudden appear like, ta-da, they weren't there, now they are. Okay, so you need to write every step. So next is f of b minus f of a. Here is b. This is a. Make sure this is very, very important. So now we plug those things in. F of b. So we have 2 cubed minus 2 squared f of b minus f of a, plugging in -1. -1 cubed. Make sure you put parentheses here. I know that we're not a huge fan of parentheses, but -1 cubed is different than -1 cubed. Okay, so be careful with the differences there. Minus -1 squared. Okay, just like that, -1 in parentheses squared means something different than -1 squared. One will give you a positive, one will give you a negative. You need to be very careful with your notation. Now, on the quiz, you would be done here. This answer right here would give you full credit, and you don't even need to show what's in the purple. If you just showed the red and the blue, full credit. You have integrated. You have done everything you need to do. Your notation is correct. Okay? If you really have the deep need, desire, you really want to keep going with this problem and get an answer, once you solve everything out, your final answer here is 6. Okay? But that's all you need to do. I just want to see your notation. I want to know that you know what to do, what to plug in, and you know how to write it. Because that's going to be the biggest thing that people are going to miss points on the FRQ is even if you know how to do the problem, you're not going to write it correctly. So we need to practice that notation.